Hello, welcome back to Botanical Woman. I'm Christine, and today we're going to do the second part of my houseplant tour. 3 weeks has passed since we filmed the last houseplant tour. Apologies for that things have moved around a little bit, and things are kind of constantly in a flux in our plant room because I'm trying to figure out what's working for me and what's not working, and trying to move lights and add shelving. So it's just, things are just constantly moving. And I have a lot of plants that I have to pot up because we had a mealybug problem. We still do, I'm still dealing with it. And so there's plants everywhere that need my attention. But let's get into the houseplant tour. So this is new. This trying to basically create more space in just displaying the plants and trying to figure out balancing between having loads of plants and plants I really like so I can see them and appreciate them more easily. So yeah, I'm working that out, that balance. Okay, let's just start with the plants that we didn't talk about last time. This is the Calathea. I forget what it's called now. It's rufibarba or something, I don't know. And it's been doing really well, I would say, except this happened and this, but otherwise, it's been okay. I had it in the higher humidity box, and it was happy there, and now it's hanging out on the shelf, and it seems to be doing okay. It's only been a few days. This Calathea orbifolia, same thing. They were living in the same box together, and it was getting a little too much light. This is why this is a little bit yellow. But overall, looks really good in comparison to the one that I have on the floor, but we don't know how it's gonna adjust to its new humidity environment. Hopefully it'd be okay, I don't know. It's obviously not as high humidity as being in the box. So we just gotta hope for the best. The pebble tray should help. They're in self-watering containers. Yeah, this is what all these are. I'll be doing a video about that. This is an Earth Star. It can tolerate really high light, which is why it's all the way up here. It turns red. Otherwise, it would be more like this green. It's sometimes referred to watermelon something. Boca! Shh. Dog's digging, sorry. This is the Anthurium veitchii king. The leaves get really long and it gets more and more wrinkles, gets more and more saggy as it gets older. It actually looks really cool. I honestly don't have the best of luck with Anthuriums. I feel I don't understand them, but I know that I've been trying to increase how chunky the mix is. And at first it was just really unhappy with me, and then I put it in the humidity box and it seems to be, it was better. It got happier, but now I had to take it out because it's kind of overgrowing the space. So we'll see how it does out here. Probably not going to be as happy, obviously, but we'll make adjustments as needed. Down here is my Calathea zebrina. She is not the happiest gal right now. She was kind of recovering over the summer and then started to look better, but then winter came and it wasn't too happy anymore. I'm not entirely sure what it needs. I know when yesterday it was thirsty, so I watered it. Maybe I should change the medium and try something chunkier, and that would help. Maybe that'll do. And also for my works of veitchii. And that is it for here. There's a little string of hearts that we didn't talk about, but it's the same one, the orange river. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the boxes now. These plants don't normally live here. They are sort of homeless right now because I reorganized everything. So let's have a look inside. This is the jewel orchid. I want to say I might have been giving it too much light. I'm not entirely sure, but a lot of the leaves started turning red and dropping. So not sure what's going on there. Maybe too wet, too hot, too something. So I'm gonna try to give it a different put it somewhere else and see how it's doing, or how it'll do better. It is growing a lot of new babies though. You guys can see. So this is a new stem. It's like going into the dirt first and then coming back out. So it's happy. The leaves keep falling off, so I gotta figure out what's going on there. I actually originally put it in brighter light because I wanted the leaves to be darker, but now it looks like it's actually just getting burned, maybe. Yeah. I also had to treat a lot of these plants for mealybugs, so they are suffering from that. This is my moonlight Scindapsus. I was gonna say Siltepecana, I don't know what that is. So the bath that I used with the horticultural oil burned the leaves. So that's kind of sad. It was actually really happy. So I don't know, mealybugs, the story of my life. This is a philodendron that I've been propagating. It's doing really well for the most part. Got new growth, all these crazy new roots. It probably needs more nutrients, so I'm gonna have to get up the nutrients on this guy. This is, I don't actually know the name of this vine, but it's like, looks like a begonia, but it's not. I got it and it was a lot fuller, I think, or at least the leaves were a lot bigger when I bought this plant. And I didn't know how to take care of it, essentially, and I abused it for a while. And then finally I was like, okay, maybe I'll put it in the propagation box and see if it'll be happier. And ta-da! It's making a comeback. A lot of people say this plant is really easy to grow, but obviously when you mistreat it, it'll end up suffering for a while. So we will see. It looks like there were like a couple of new, yeah, I can see right there that there's new stems coming out. So it's good news. I'm not sure how I think you can grow this plant without high humidity. I've seen other people do it. So I don't know, maybe it's just about getting the watering right. Okay, this is a semi-hydro propagation setup that I just was experimenting with. I got these nubs, which are essentially cuttings with like no leaves on them, and planted them in. Well, actually they were in a bag, a Ziploc bag with sphagnum moss for a while, and then they rooted, so I put them in semi-hydro, and they seem to be really happy because most of this is new growth, except maybe for this leaf. Yeah, so everything you're seeing here is new. Oh no, it's this one down here. This leaf is the old leaf. Yeah, and there's actually two types of philodendron. This is the pedatum, and I forget the name of this one, but it might have the nickname horsehead. It starts with a B. I don't know. I looked it up. We'll put it on the screen later. But yeah, semi-hydro philodendron, it's loving it. It probably needs, you know, a little bit more nutrients and a little bit less light. I find these plants, at least with the Squamiferum that I have over there, the brighter light definitely, it just wasn't too happy with it. The leaves started losing color. This is a very leggy Peperomia. Oh no, it's rotting. Yep, it rotted. Okay, so gonna have to take that off. I can tell it rotted because it turned brown. I'm just gonna cut this and then propagate this. It did not like that. Yeah, so this was also treated. Yep, this was also treated for mealybugs, and I guess it's just been too wet. Yeah, this is a self-watering pot that I made, but I don't think that that's what's bothering it, or maybe it is. It is quite wet down there. But it could have been the mealybug bath that it had to endure. Okay, and this is The queen, I believe it, no, it's not the Queen of Night. This is another one that I got from Taylor Greenhouses. I'm gonna have to look back on the list and tell you guys which one this is. But it is a epiphyllum and will eventually bloom at some point, hopefully. Yeah, how has it been growing for me? I have had it in the propagation box, so it's put out a lot of new growth. Like most of this is new. I can't remember, because most of the plants that I got were smaller from Taylor Greenhouses because they're kind of just starter plants. So you're like literally getting a rooted cutting. But yeah, I would say at least it's doubled in size. We could look back on the unboxing footage to see what it looked like. I was amazed at some of the plants that I saw because I had to look back for the other houseplants video to see what the name, or I was correct on the name of the plant. Oh, sorry, Boga. Yeah, and some of the begonias definitely doubled, or if not tripled in size since, so that's nice. All right, moving on to another box. Okay, so this is one of the fuller propagation boxes, and as you can see, this is why it's getting really crowded. The plants have grown quite a bit since I've gotten them, and you know, they're kind of smothering each other, and it's making it harder to care for them. Just because like I don't really want to take them in and out of the box because then like they're knocking off stems and foliage. We need new homes for these guys, so that's why the reorg is happening. So here, we'll start with these. My pink princess that I got as a cutting, and so now they're pretty happy. They do need to be repotted soon, I think. I'm really happy I didn't kill them because I almost did. And this is, they call this the Ric Rac. I got it as a rooted cutting from Taylor Greenhouses. Like this is the original part, the lower part, and then all this is the new growth up here. So that's really exciting. This plant has been flowering non-stop, and it doesn't seem to be super sensitive to like its leaves getting wet, even though it reminds me of a African violet a lot, but it's not. This is the begonia. It is a creeping begonia, and this is showing signs that it's getting too much light. But otherwise, it's pretty happy in here. Also, it's like all over, very hard to care for. So it needs to leave. I was just looking at this Peperomia incana. Look how, I don't know what is going on there, but that looks wild. Like all these like new growth points, I don't know, like just exploded with stems. And I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, so these were the Peperomia's, the bottom of it, you know, so this is the original mother plant. And it's growing quite nicely, minus the curled leaves, and I think that that's being from too much light. And this is a Peperomia, which is super cute. I love the dark veins of this plant. I think even though it's like a sign of it not being super healthy that the leaves are so small, I do think it's actually super cute. I love it in here. This is the Frankie, my nerve plant. I really love how pink it is. To bring out the color, you do need, you know, bright and direct light, and I mean like high, and this is how it gets. This is another begonia that is buried underneath this other begonia that you can't see. Yeah, they're all kind of going crazy in here, just being really happy because the humidity is so high. This is my third Calathea. Most of the leaves look pretty good, minus that yellow that you see. That is too much light. There is obviously a Hoya running through this box. Of course, why wouldn't there be? There's a poly over here on this side. I will switch the box over so you guys can see. This is another begonia, another begonia. This is begonia actually. I almost killed this thing, and I finally put it in here, and it's growing, it's coming back. See all these little baby leaves? Super cute. Yeah, it has more of like this redness to it as it gets older. I actually really like this begonia because of how dark the backs are. You guys see that? This one's different, or is it the same? I can't tell. You see, very hard to get around. There's I got a Thanksgiving cactus from one of my trades, and it's been rooting, or actually it's actually been growing, not rooting. It rooted a while ago. Rooted really easily in this box. Some new growth. There's some Ripsalis down there. I don't remember the exact kind. This is a Hoya. There's 2 Hoyas in here. And that is all. I mean, at least that's all I can see. Right, and over here I told you there was a Alocasia, so let me just turn that around. There's another plant down there. I don't remember the name of it. But here is hiding underneath the begonia is our Alocasia. It is also a poly, but it's a special name because it stays super small like that. And I do love it for its size. So in this box, I recently treated a bunch of my plants for mealybugs, so they all got unpotted, and I potted up a lot of the other plants already. These guys I really want to, I'm thinking about mounting them, so that's why they're kind of hanging out in here, and I think they're suffering. Like, because they're getting all these brown leaves. I don't know, I love this plant. This is a little ficus. It's really little duck feet. I love how it stays super miniature and they just kind of creep along. So if you're looking for a terrarium plant, it's a great one. I really think it's adorable. There's some Hoyas. There's this little ivy that I bought that's supposed to stay small, except it's a lie because look how big this one is. So yeah, when it came, it was like this, these little super tiny ones, but then like it started growing and then got massive, but it's still a darling. What else is in here? Some Hoyas. Oh, this guy. I don't know what's going on with it. It is the weirdest looking, cactus. It is. They call it a jungle cactus because it's not a, it likes humidity, and it doesn't like to dry out. Oh my god, more plants are rotting. This is good. This is good. This is so bad. I need to do some repotting soon, ASAP. Yeah, this has been, I think, 2 days already. 3 days, maybe 2 or 3 days. I need to attend to these guys. I feel so bad. Okay. More propagation, random projects. I potted up my Oga! No. These are Peperomias that I potted up recently in a video. There's some Hoyas grown in like in there. I made this the other night. I don't know what I was thinking, but we'll see if it takes off. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, I don't know. If you have an opinion, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, there's a begonia being propagated. It's like just random. I'm propagating something, I need a place for it, and that's where it goes. I'll put this on the floor. Now you guys know why I have so many boxes, because I'm constantly experimenting with things. Making a mess, killing the plants, bringing them back. Oh my god, it is not happy. So these were the Siltepecana. Yeah, this was a Siltepecana. Oh no. I wonder why. This one looks too wet. Maybe. But they not happy? Well, at least it's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. Yeah, I cut up my Siltepecana the other day to propagate it. And where did this come from? This is a Hoya leaf. Maybe I came off of this guy. Oh, this Hoya leaf fell off. Why is this laying down like this? Because it's too tall and the box can't close. This is a really sad TNT. I cut off most of the leaves that were looking really bad. I don't know. It's like, it's in rehab, basically. This is a Scindapsus satin, I believe, because it's not supposed to have any markings on it, but as you can see, some of it's coming back. It got root rot, but then actually it was able to bounce back. So this is the original leaf. This is the second leaf it grown during root rot. So when you have deformed leaves, it really does tell you something is wrong. And then this is the newer leaf, which looks a lot better or less deformed. So it's doing well. It grew like a ginormous new root right there. That's nice and white and fuzzy. Looks super cute. It's gonna make its way down to the dirt. This is another Scindapsus that I got. I'm not entirely sure which one it is. If you're certain of what this one is, let me know. I don't know if it's the Pictia or the Exotica. I don't know. Too many names to keep track of. These are Peperomias that my friend gave me. I'm just trying to grow them in leca and see how they do, and they seem to be doing just fine. This Peperomia grows really like long and tall, so it's very different from the other Peperomias that we commonly see. I've never seen it before. I saw it at the Amazon Spheres, yeah. And they have space for that, so I guess it looks a lot better. But here they are. Okay, so in the corner I have my Coeur d'Alene. I think it's some kind of mocha or something. I really like the yellow leaves. In the summertime, I do leave it out on my west-facing balcony because it actually really likes bright sun. So that's why it's in front of these LED lights. My yellowing Monstera Adansonii, which I made a video about. And then down here is my Peperomia. You guys have seen before. This is the Dracaena that I made a video about, so you can learn about her. It's been doing fine since the winter. It's lost a few leaves, but it's doing its thing. This is another propagating station, sort of. So yeah, this is the succulent. I kind of just throw random leaves in here and see what would happen, and look, ta-da! It's a miracle. So pretty. I really love these types of succulents. I forget what they're called, echevias or something like that. Oh, this is the I've never done this before actually, where I like just stuck a bunch of leaves upright and planted them together like that, like stacked them together, because I just got really sick and tired of this plant. This plant got mealybugs multiple times living outside, and then I finally just threw it in the trash. But before I did that, I was able to collect a few leaves. And those are leaves off the bloom, that's why it looks like that. It's actually a pretty big succulent. Propagating some more, cactus. Propagating some more string of hearts. They're growing very slowly. This I got off of a trade, as you can see what the name of it is here. It's getting too much sun, so it keeps or too much light I should say, and it keeps just dying because of that. I really shouldn't have it there. I keep reminding myself not to do that, but I forget after I water them. This is just a cutting of the queen. These were also propagated from a trade. So all of this you see is new growth minus like this one, I think. This one. Yeah, she gave me one, maybe 2 sticks, I forget. But they're doing their job. I probably don't water them enough. They're a little limpy right now. It needs more water, and it probably needs a bigger pot. Those I knocked off. These prickly pear cactus. I think it's called Rita though. Yeah, I bought it because I loved how red, the color red it is. And this is new, this growth, this green nub. Yeah, it's fun, just messing around. Yeah, and when I water them, I just bring the whole tray over. This is another Earth Star. This one's pink. I really like it. Under highlight, it gets, super pink. If not, it turns this more beige color, light yellow. It's not yellow, it's more like white. And it also likes a lot of light, so I leave it right here. Here's my 2 white stars, 2 Calathea white stars that I found recently. They are in their palace because I don't want spider mites to get to them, and in case they have any bugs themselves, they're contained for now, kind of quarantine. They haven't been doing anything, which is good. No news is good news. This is a random bag of stuff I'm propagating in here. Yeah, so that's where those nubs came from, this bag of sphagnum moss. I don't really do any, I kind of forget about it. I see something growing, like that leaf is catching my eye, but it has like 1 baby root. It's not ready to go yet. I'm just gonna leave it in there. Random Hoya, I believe. Oh no, this is not the Hoya. This is more Siltepecana. Not Siltepecana. Scindapsus. Yeah, it's finally rooted. Cool. It's been in this bag for months. So maybe we'll pop that up. Okay, what's in here? Dead Hoya. All right, time to throw that in the trash. Yeah, I kind of neglect this area because it's not like the easiest for me to access. So, like these need watering big time, you can tell. So yeah, this one is like pretty dead, I think, because I didn't water it. Ooh, that's not true. Something's growing from over there. Stronger than you think. All right, Peperomia is propagating. I was gifted these. They're kind of cute. Stricantes. I forget. This is my little Pilea. And then more peps. They all need watering. Oh man. I gotta water after this video. Or run to a plant swap. That's life. Okay. More peps. Propagated them. Now they're just growing. I don't know, I guess I just like to propagate things. This is another cutting I got of the Begonia Vine. It's not doing great. I think I need to repot it. That's number 1. Yeah, it's not loving it in there. It was doing fine, but now I don't think there's enough nutrients for it, so it's gonna come out. This is turtle vine. I think I talked about this because it was over there, so we're gonna skip that plant. This is my one of 3 Monstera deliciosas. I overwatered it, and I'm gonna do a video on this, so I'm not gonna talk about that plant, but it is overwatered. That is why it looks like that. It is not happy. In the back here, we have my Raphodora tetrasperma. It has grown a lot. It's definitely lost a few yellow leaves at the bottom from the winter. Here's another one. And I'm not super worried about it, so it's not like losing 1 leaf a week or something. It's losing maybe 1 leaf every month that has passed. I see more yellow leaves coming though. So, I don't know. The leaves curled up, but I watered it. So hopefully it's better. I'm not sure. But I did grow a new leaf recently. Was it this one or another one? I think it was this one. This one's new. Yeah, and then I broke the tip the other day because I moved it. It's not on a trellis, it's just leaning against that lamp. Okay, let's move down here. This is the Alocasia Tiny Dancer. I've been combating spider mites with this plant, but I think it's finally doing better. Like the spider mites gave up. I think we won. We won the war for this one, for now. So it doesn't really lose leaves like other alocasias. It just kind of keeps putting out growth and like spreading itself. I don't really have the space to display how cute it is. But if you look online, you can see like it's really like, I don't know, whimsical the way it grows. I moved this cardboard palm here, so we don't have to talk about that. This is my poly It's another alocasia. This happened, this leaf will never unroll properly because spider mites like attacked the shit out of it when it was coming out, like unfurling. And so it just looks like that. There's a begonia leaf. I'm trying to, oh no, I think it has fungus. God damn it. I have a begonia fungus problem. I think I need to do something about this. Okay, there's a long list of things to do. This is why having plants shouldn't be so stressful. Back to the poly. I have not been able to get this plant to have more than 3 leaves at a time, and I know that this is like a really common thing amongst alocasias, but I have heard that if you increase the nutrients in the soil, it will help. So try to keep increasing your alocasia nutrients and see how that works out for you. And I also noticed it doesn't like to be super wet. Or not super wet, like it doesn't like to, it could dry out a little bit. This is my Peperomia ripple. It's looking actually a lot better. Like right at the turn of the winter, I think because it was pot bound, it dropped so many leaves and it just looked like it was dying. I don't know what was wrong with it, but now it seems to be doing a lot better. Looks a lot happier. This is another one of those bulb plants that I have. Oh, it's blooming. And it's gonna make a hot mess everywhere. But this is the first time I've seen this one bloom. And I wouldn't, you know, if you ask me, it doesn't look like it's the happiest. But it actually is growing, so I guess it's happy. See, look, it's putting out all these new leaves. I don't know, it's one of those plants, I bought it because I really liked the dots, the pattern, but then now I'm looking at it, I'm like, why did I do that? Now I don't know what to do with it. We shall see, we shall see. This is my poinsettia that's, everybody tells me it's gonna die by the end of January, and we're strong and well in the middle of February. So I guess I'm having a Christmas plant in a part of my collection. I haven't noticed it growing. Maybe it's just because I don't really pay attention to it at all, but I don't know. Is it growing? It hasn't, I think it's only lost 1 leaf since getting it. I don't do anything, it just sits here, and every once in a while I will water it. So I touch the top. See, right now it's still moist, so I don't water it until it gets a bit on the drier side. It's still very pretty, it's just not Christmas anymore, guys. Okay, moving on to over here, we'll go to the back table. That is one of my Sansevieras. We really like this one because of how the lines are going vertical instead of horizontal. So I think that's really cute. Yeah, I like the variegation. I think it makes it really unique. It has grown for me in the summer. I leave it on the balcony and it's happy. So I really don't like it. Should I really talk about this here? But I really don't like it when people say Sansevieras are low light plants, because they're not. They tolerate low light. You're just putting them through a very slow death. There, I said it. If you want to unsubscribe, go for it. What else? This is Alocasia Blue Regal that I got also as a plug. So it was quite small when I had it, and I would say it's like 10 times the size it was because it was so tiny. It does tend to lose, so this is like, you can see like this leaf is way smaller than this one. So it does tend to like drop a leaf and then put out a new one, but it's been holding strong to like 4 leaves so far, so I guess that's good. I don't keep it as moist as it needs maybe, because sometimes it's just difficult because I gotta carry it all the way over there. I did have to clean it up. Spider mites do like this plant. I did have to like beat it, like spray it down just the other day. There was a bunch of spider mites on it. It happens, but it's taking it well. Back here is another Sansevieria that I got from a very specific nursery out in Ohio. And I paid a fortune for it. I'm not really sure it's worth it, but it's here. It's in my collection. This is a Madagascar Palm. I don't know the exact name of it, but it needs full sun. I really like how funky it looks. This is one of my earliest collection plants. I know. Yeah. Those are bananas. I cut them all back because they looked hideous by like a couple of months ago. And it's putting out this new growth. It's all long and skinny. It obviously doesn't have enough light in here for it to grow properly. We'll have to, oh yeah, and I do move this whole thing, this whole arrangement out on the balcony, and it gets full sun because we have west facing. Down here is, I guess, one of my prized plants. It is the Stramanthi Trio Star. I got it at the supermarket. It was, when I first got it, it was miserable. Like, it didn't do anything. I didn't know how much light it needed. Everybody says that like Calatheas or plants in the Morantaceae family, you know, they can live in low light. So like I had it in low light. I literally I didn't have grow lights back then, or any kind of artificial lighting for them. So I just had them like 3 feet away from the window, thinking that, oh, it doesn't, like, don't burn it, right? No, it's wrong. They love the light. So yeah, so this light is dedicated for this plant. Well, it really shares it with the Philodendron Squamiferum over here. But yeah, I mean, this plant has taken off, I would say. I mean, it's putting out new growth right now. We're in the middle of winter. It put out 2 new stems over the summer. It loves the light, guys. So don't give it direct light, like direct sun, but it loves bright and direct light. And I have it in a pretty chunky medium, and I water it when the top inch is dry. It has lost a couple of leaves over the winter, which tells me that I could adjust the potting medium to make it even a little bit more airy. Make it a little bit more airy for the way I water my plants. I like to go over to the sink. I like to wash off all the leaves, and I don't do this all the time, but occasionally I will. So like maybe once a month, everybody will get a bath at some point. And like, I really like to just soak the entire pot. And I think with that kind of watering style, a chunkier medium is more helpful. Prevents root rot. Here is the Squamiferum that I recently put on a moss pole. If you guys didn't check out that video, but it is doing really well. Ooh, it's so weird. Every time it sheds this sheet, I forget what it's called, something SH something. It makes me worry. I'm like, what's wrong with it? Nothing's wrong with it. Okay, yeah. So I put out this new leaf and this new leaf. And now it's putting out this new leaf. And it's got new stem here, new stem here. Yeah, it hasn't attached itself to the moss pole. I'm not super worried about it, but it is hard to like keep this moist. And I don't want to overwater the plant. Like, I've been checking it a lot to make sure it's not too dry. But it's still moist, so we will leave it. Don't overwater it, Christine, because that's what you love to do. This is my Calathea orbifolia. This is the most expensive plant that I have. I'm usually pretty stingy about how much I pay for plants. And what can I say about it? Initially, most of the original leaves have already gone to this color and they've been cut off. This is a new growth. These are new growth right here. This is another new growth leaf. I think these are newish. Yeah, these are newish. Yeah. So what's the problem? Mainly humidity, in my opinion, because I water my plants with the same water, and you saw my Calathea earlier in the video, they look fine. So what does that tell me? There's not enough humidity in this apartment for this tropical plant. And that's okay. So yeah, I mean, it's still growing. It's not, you know, Instagram famous, beautiful, glamorous, but whatever. I still love her. She pretty. She pretty. Okay, moving on. Ficus? I know it's a ficus. Don't remember the name of it, but I got it because I wanted some terrarium plants so that I can like take pieces and like attach them to different things or different projects. So here it is. It likes to stay moist, and obviously I didn't do a good job doing that or taking my own advice. So the transition between the humidity box and out into the open was rough, mainly because I didn't water it properly. This is the Boogie Woogie, I think it's called, the philodendron. The variegated version's called the Ring of Fire. Is it Ring of Fire? No, that's the Johnny Cash song. It's something fire. Anyway, yeah, I really like this plant. I dropped it, that's why the leaf broke, and now it's finally fallen off. It grows pretty easily with most philodendrons, I want to say. People seem to have a really easy time with them. It's been growing pretty consistently, hasn't really stopped growing because of the winter. It doesn't like a lot of light. So even I think here is a little bit too close. That's why this leaf is yellowing. So I'm gonna have to try to like rotate it. Yeah, keep it away from the light. There is a Calathea beauty star back here, right behind it. It was really, really happy before the winter, and now it's less happy. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this just has to do with lighting, but it does seem not the best. I was giving it a lot of light before, so it lost a lot of its like pink markings. So now I'm hoping putting it over here will help decrease the light and get more of that pink stripe, the red stripe back. I don't know, it is in a loose medium. It's still growing, so I guess I can't complain. But it was, yeah, doesn't matter. This is the philodendron. It's no longer called the lemon lime, but I'm gonna continue calling it the lemon lime. I really like this plant. I got it. When I got it, it was like quite bald up here, and now it's really like gotten a lot more full. And I love how the new grove, how it's pink. Okay, then this is my Peperomia watermelon that I've been propagating. It's grown like all weird and leggy. I'm not sure what it wants, like too much light, too little light, inconsistent watering, all of the above, I feel like, is the problem. The stems are really red, which I didn't realize that. And also, when I look on Instagram, I feel like other people's peperomias are like darker in color. Like this is a really light green to me, and I'm not sure what it is. So if you guys know anything, let me know in the comments below. Oh, leaves are falling off. I think this has fungus. That's why I was doing that. Yep, it has fungus. Something's wrong with it. Anyway, I got this from Taylor Greenhouses. It's obviously been growing, and I cut a bunch and I propagated it, and it's doing over there, and those are doing fine, but this keeps reaching like further and further away. I'm not sure where it wants to go. I don't water it consistently enough. I think that is also a problem. I did water it yesterday though. Yeah, this guy has been super weird all summer. It was really happy, and then the potting medium started to like, it feels like it died. The potting medium died. What do I mean by that? I mean that it was like really lush and moist, and I wouldn't have to water it very often. But then suddenly I feel like maybe like I underwatered too long, and the medium just went kaput. Like it just is not happy anymore. So the plant is also showing that. It lost quite a few leaves. They yellowed all over here, so that's why you see these ball spots. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to cut it back and then I'm going to propagate it right back into the pot. But it is still putting out growth, even though it got moved here, because before it was living closer to the light. If you haven't heard me say this already, this plant that is variegated, this is a variegated Maranta, it needs higher light in order to get the variegation. Otherwise, you'll get variegation, but it's yellow instead of white. So that is something to consider if you're thinking about getting one of these. I do really like the Marantas. And last but not least, it is what you were seeing over there. This is the Siltepecana that I butchered up, and this is what is left of it. Did I water this? Maybe I didn't. I don't know, with the winter, it's just really hard to know when to water, not to water, but there it is. We're gonna stop here. Behind me is more tropical plants in addition to the cactus and succulent shelf. And we also have another box of mainly like epiphyte, more epiphytes in that box, I believe, because I really like jungle cactus. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or tips or comments about my plants, I would love to hear from you. And until next time, happy growing.